Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Rob's Rig. So I was wondering, I've got a 2025 Jeep Wrangler we bought not too long ago, several months, something like that. But has Jeep Wrangler quality improved? I've talked before about the reputation of reliability and quality on the Jeep Wrangler, but has it gotten any better over the years? And is it maybe time to stop dogging the Jeep Wrangler for quality and reliability issues? So I did a little research, and here's what it has to say. And right off the bat, it says, yes, the Jeep Wrangler's quality and reliability have improved significantly. That's what I want to hear. Over the last several years. So recently, several years to me is like 5 to 10, something like that, right? It says, while historically plagued by first-year redesign bugs, and really every vehicle is, every new vehicle when it first comes out, you know the rule, right? Never buy the first year of a redesign or a remodel. While historically plagued by first-year redesign bugs and early platform component issues, recent late model JL generation Wranglers reflect a mature production cycle with tightened engineering standards and more robust parts. It's always funny to me that they being manufacturers, get this stuff right from the beginning. I mean, they've been doing this for a long time, right? And I know it's a new platform, or when new platforms come out, this isn't a brand new platform, or even when they do updates and things. I mean, you would think there'd be enough history or experience with the people in the company that they wouldn't have any issues. But anyway, it says here, the core improvements. So what has improved? What is better, right? The notable upward trend in the Wrangler's reliability is tied to key hardware and production updates made by Jeep or Stellantis or whoever owns them nowadays, right? Upgraded steering components. In 2021, Jeep swapped out the problematic aluminum steering box for a more rigid steel design. Hallelujah. That was a big problem when they redesigned the Jeep. You'd get some wander in the steering, you'd go side to side on the road, and of course the fix was to get rid of the aluminum and go back to steel, right? It says this drastically reduced the steering slop and highway wandering common in 2018 through 2020 models. Now, since they're referencing 2020 as the end of their comparison, I guess, several years means in the last 5 to 6 years from the beginning of the video, right? Powertrain maturity. The naturally aspirated 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 and 2-liter turbocharged inline-4 both have become incredibly well understood, reliable backbones for the vehicle. Are you telling me they didn't understand what they were putting in them before? That always goes back to my own theory that we're the guinea pigs, right? They put these things out and we're the test dummies on them. When we have problems, sure, they're covered under warranty and you get to screw with it and go sit in the dealer and drive a rental and maybe have your Jeep that you're making payments on tied up for several weeks, maybe months. I've heard some real horror stories there, right? It says the standard 8-speed automatic transmission paired with these engines is also highly durable compared to previous generations. That's a good thing. Fewer first-year bugs. The current crop of Wranglers benefits from nearly a decade of continuous refinements on the JL platform, resulting in much cleaner track records for decent model years, or recent model years, I should say. I would say that's probably true. The Jeeps that I've had in the last 5 to 10 years, I would say are definitely better. More refined is probably a good way to put it. They feel much better on the road, I guess. Where reliability struggles remain, but it's not all great, right? Despite these tangible upgrades, the Wrangler still lags behind conventional crossovers on traditional reliability scorecards due to its unique layout. Well, what do they mean by that? Electrical and infotainment systems. Complex modern cabin tech, sensors, and the Uconnect ecosystem remains the top sources for minor non-mechanical dealer visits. These are radios, man, and it's not like they're unique to Jeep, are they? I mean, I think every new vehicle you buy has a radio or infotainment system in it. That just doesn't jive for me. The 4xe hybrid exception. The plug-in hybrid Wrangler 4xe variants still face a higher volume of consumer complaints. These center around complex high-voltage battery modules, cold weather powertrain glitches, and software updates. I still hear and see a lot of problems with this hybrid system. Frankly, for me, I think it's crazy that they have a battery in a Jeep. I mean, it's a Jeep, man. It's supposed to be rugged, able to go off-road in any condition, not have to plug into a tree somewhere or something to recharge. I don't know, and I know that's not how it works, but it's crazy. Solid axle quirks. Because it retains solid front and rear axles for off-road utility, it requires more frequent suspension inspection, is inherently more prone to premature ball joint, tie rod, and track bar wear than independent suspension setups. I guess that's inherent to the Jeep, but I think it kind of depends on how you use it too. I mean, if you're not out there beating the hell out of it, I would suspect these components are going to be a non-issue, right? The data and reliability sweet spots. According to third-party tracking like JD Power, late model JL Wranglers have scored as high as 85 or 86 out of 100. That's a good solid B, right? For quality and reliability, a massive leap forward from the early JK or launch year 2018 JL platforms. It says here, if you're hunting for the most reliable ownership experience with the Jeep, data and enthusiast forums point to 2021 through 2024 V6 or 2.0 liter gas model engines as, I guess it's 2.0 liter non-turbo, I suppose. Well, it is the turbo. As the current platform sweet spots, they bundle the updated steering wheel box with time-tested powertrains and omit the complex hybrid or early e-torque systems. Yeah, I would say if you're going for a Jeep, I would probably avoid the hybrid. I would never buy the hybrid in a Jeep anyway, but I'd probably avoid it early on, even if you are interested in it, until they get these weird, quirky things knocked out, right? It just doesn't make sense to me still to drive a Jeep that requires a battery other than to start it and run the air in the radio or whatever when you're out off-roading. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Anyway, it does sound like Jeep has improved with quality and reliability. I think I've seen it myself, and hopefully I don't have any issues in mind. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Are those bits of information enough to make you feel a little bit better about your Jeep Wrangler or maybe purchasing one or not? You're sticking with the old Jeep suck. The quality and reliability is just not there. I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.